What if our greatest fear, the fear of death, what if it's all based on a huge misunderstanding? Today, we're diving deep into a core teaching from the Bhagavad Gita that gives a totally radical perspective on who we really are and why our true selves might just be eternal. But first, let me ask you something. Think back a decade. Are you actually the same person? I mean, your body has changed completely, your thoughts have evolved, your whole life is probably different. So, what is that you that's been there through all of that change? Just keep that question in mind as we go. Our story kicks off on a battlefield. A great warrior, Arjuna, is about to enter the fight of his life, but he's completely paralyzed by despair. And this isn't just pre-battle jitters. We're talking about a full-blown existential crisis. He looks across the field and sees his own family, his teachers, his cousins, even his grandfathers, all on the other side. The thought of having to kill them just shatters him, and it plunges him into this deep grief where he starts questioning everything, the very nature of life, death, and what it even means to be a self. And his confusion is what sparks the entire incredible philosophical discussion that follows. And the answer he gets? Well, it's immediate, and it's radical. It cuts right to the very heart of his fear. The core teaching is this. The self he's so worried about, the self of his family members, it's not what it appears to be. I mean, just let that sink in for a second. This is a statement of absolute, unbroken continuity. It's saying that every single individual, you, me, everyone who's ever lived, has always existed and will always exist. There's no beginning and there's no end to our existence as individuals. Okay, so how can that possibly be true? Well, the source explains this with the concept of the embodied soul. The idea is that our true self, the spirit soul, is the real you. It's eternal, it's unchanging. The body, on the other hand, that's just a temporary vehicle. It's like a car you're driving or a set of clothes you're wearing for a while. Now, to make this huge, abstract idea a lot more concrete, the text uses a really simple, everyday analogy that I think we can all instantly get our heads around. We all do this, right? You look at a baby picture and you know, hey, that's me. Then you see your high school photo and yep, still you. And you can imagine yourself as an old person and it's still you. The body passes through boyhood, youth, and old age, but we feel this constant identity inside. The source just argues that death is simply the next logical step in that process. The soul passes from the old, worn-out body into a brand new one. So, the crucial point is this. If death isn't really an end, but just a transition, literally like changing your clothes, then what is there to grieve about? For Arjuna, this was a game changer. It meant his beloved family members weren't truly being destroyed, they were simply moving on. Now, this brings up a really critical question. Does this mean we're all just little fragments of one single universal soul that eventually just merge back together? The source material is very, very specific on this point, and it's an important clarification. And this is where we see a key difference in philosophy. You have some schools of thought, like the Mayavadi theory, that suggest there's just one universal spirit and our sense of being separate individuals is kind of an illusion. But the Gita's view is totally different. It argues that each and every soul is eternally individual and distinct. Our individuality isn't a mistake. It's an eternal fact. The logic behind this is actually pretty simple. The Supreme Soul is defined as unchangeable. Well, think about it. If you could cut it up into little pieces to create all of us individual souls, then by definition, it would be changeable, which is a contradiction. So, therefore, the individual souls must have always existed as distinct, eternal beings. To clarify this relationship, the text offers another beautiful analogy. Just picture the sky reflected in a calm lake. You see the sun. That represents the Supreme Soul. And you also see countless stars. Those are all the individual souls. Both are real, both are luminous, but they are obviously not the same thing. They coexist, distinct, yet part of the same reality. So, what's the practical outcome of actually understanding and accepting this worldview? The text describes a very specific state of mind that comes from having this knowledge. This state is embodied by the dhīra, which you could translate as a sober or a steady person. Now, this isn't about being gloomy. It's about being anchored in knowledge. A dhīra is someone who gets it. They understand the eternal nature of the self, and so they're not tricked or confused by the constant changes of the world, and that includes birth and death. And this, really, is the ultimate psychological payoff. This understanding leads to a state of being not bewildered.
It offers a path to real tranquility and fearlessness, even when you're facing life's biggest uncertainties. The changes of the body just no longer cause that deep confusion or despair.
Which brings us right back to where we started. This whole philosophy is presented as a direct antidote to fear. It reframes our entire existence, turning what we see as a final, terrible end into just another step on an internal journey. And so, the question it leaves us with is, if change is just a transition, what is there really to fear?